I want to talk about something today, and I think this is just a good excuse to do so. Nice way to go over and just be like, oh, hey, this is what's happening in life. Fucking government shit is wild, dog. The government shit is so fucking insane. Everything that's been going on in the past. So as a good amount of you know, at least from the title and maybe a little notif that you'll be getting, I'm doing a series called TransMedia. And that's supposed to be a news series. A news series where things on trans people, specifically for, like, what is it called? Stuff that affects the trans community. Granted, LGBT community would also be able to be affected. Um, Ostensibly is, for lack of a better term, showcased and talked about. We look at different news clippings. We look at different articles and stuff. And overall, it is just very, 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 very fun and nice to talk about sometimes. However, I wanted to take a different approach today. I just wanted to talk about shit. Not like reacting to a specific post or anything. Not reacting to a specific event that happened. Although, granted, some events will be referenced. But Jesus Christ, I feel bad as somebody who, with transmedia, tried to warn about this shit that would happen in, like, Project 2025 and everything else. It kind of sucks. It's one of those things of, like, yeah, you were definitely right, but you don't like being right because that means everyone kind of suffers for it. And I think we're at the point, because I think like a year ago, everyone was just like, oh yeah, they're gonna fuck around and we're gonna find out. And they certainly did. And now everybody on bottom is finding out. Obviously, including me, because while I voted blue, of course, I'm affected by this shit too. And it's like, it's insane to me. Especially because I've been dealing with, what is it called? I've been dealing with, like, the increased gas prices and shit like that. Yo, I remember specifically when I was, like, what was it? 18, 19 years old? When I thought that, like, the $2 and 40-something gas was pretty expensive. Right? I technically still think that to this day. Like, it's gone up and up and up steadily. I've noticed it since I was a kid, but like $2 and some cents is where it was at the time. And I remember specifically being like, especially it was because it was like after COVID was like I shouldn't say stopping. After especially because it was like after the COVID what is it called? Isolation had stopped. People were coming back together. That was when gas prices decided to go back up to normal. And my brain was like, oh my god. My brain was like, oh my god, this feels kind of ass. Because what am I supposed to really do at that point? Like, it feels kind of ass, man. Like, I'm going to the, what is it called? It was so, for COVID for me, I think was relatively positive, I should say. It was going over, getting less gas, getting more money, stuff like that. During that time, things were relatively nice. But I go over there, and I'm like, okay, this is like a lot, really expensive now, right? Needless to say, God, do I feel good for that kid. Because my dear goodness, why in the world are gas prices freaking $4 now? $4.30 on average in America. So it's one of those things where I'm realizing shit's crazy. And I guess it goes to another thing there. And it's like, I'm glad but the one thing that is nice to see, I guess, about everything that's going on is the fact that I feel like it looks like there's a good amount of people that are, what is it called? Learning that they've regretted it and are, well, either trying to make amends or are dealing with it in a way, or are getting fucking, or fucking finding out how horribly they made a mistake. The reason I mention, like, anything to do with me seeing how much this stuff kind of is affecting, like, people that voted red, has been all of the fucking talk about people have pretty much been, like, apparently feeling disenfranchised for effectively having people be like, wait, you voted this way? I don't want to date you. And fair enough, because, like, what's it called? Said a vote affected the rights on anyone in the LGBT and anybody that was a woman. So you have a good amount of people just fucking not wanting to fuck with you. Like, assuming, like, what's it called? Right, what? Like, assuming you're, like, a guy and you're gay, and they won't want to fuck with you because you voted for their rights to go away, including your own. And you don't want self-destructive tendencies in your relationship. Like, if you're straight, obviously you don't care enough about the women, so that's why they voted that way, right? So they can't see you as a potential partner. If you're a lesbian, it's fucking wild, because now you got both sides of that fucking thing rolled up into one, and the self-hatred just essentially spirals. It's funny to me because of how much, like, the whole thing was like, and then there's, what is it called? It's because of how much people were so fucking, like, confident about it. And then after see them getting thrown away as the leopards are eating their face, they're like, oh my god, who could have seen that coming? And, like, so many people are like, me, I could have seen that coming. Oh my fucking god. It's so silly. It's so silly. It's so silly. And there's the fact that, like, a bunch of people that were, because I love so many people's excuses because a lot of the excuses were like, what about the gas prices and food prices? And not only have we learned that, like, what, a year later, after all that's happened, they can't say shit. Well, actually, they can, and it's been the response to move the goalpost, because it went from, if Democrats have this, they'll start wars, to, if Democrats have this, they'll start wars bigger than the one we are already in now. Like, oh, are people getting arrested on the street? Yeah, better than having the borders wide open. Like, they keep pushing the goalpost more and more and more, and it's gotta be funny, because it's like, you can't lose. It's one of the things of, if you can do that, you can't lose. Because what's your lose con? Oh, it was reached? Well, he'll just move it farther back. That way I can't lose. Because of course, if they lose, then it's over. And it's not the fucking thing of, like, the entire world going to shit. Nah, if they lose, then it's fucking over. I think the worst part of it all, the worst part is that I feel like, essentially, they have to be there now. It's one of the things of, like, at this point, I've come to realize, not only are there these people that do not care about me. Well, I say that, like, I thought random strangers cared about me in the first place. I have been convinced that that wasn't the case since a fairly young age, being black and all, as well as a few other things. But, like, granted, I was in a more privileged position than most black folk. But regardless, like, it's one of the things where it's like, not only does no one care about my rights, Not only does no one care about the rights of of several communities that I'm in, right? Black people, trans, freaking, I'm autistic. I have ADHD. It's like I got selected all the hardest difficulty settings, man. I don't know what to tell you. But it's the problem. My problem comes in that at this point, it you kind of need them, because it's like we need the majority now, and like people have been going over and apparently being remorseful and have been moving towards blue. It's just been the first time ever that Texas has been blue, which is wild to me. Wild to me, by the way, that Texas is blue. That's how you know you fucked up. That's how you know that the thing's been fucked up. When Texas has gone blue for the first time in however fucking long it's been. I have not been alive and seen Texas be blue. Granted, it's not exactly crazy. I'm 27, but still. So I have to. So it's one of the things where it feels like they're the person in the group project you never want to be with, right? Because they're the person that will talk about you behind your back, discredit your work, take credit for all of your work and shit. But if something goes wrong on their front, if something goes wrong with them and they had to go over and freaking do the thing for the project, well, technically you need the fourth body for the project. So it's one of the things of you don't want to work with them, you have to work with them, and at that point, I will not trust you. It's a thing of I will not trust you. We can work together to hopefully set things right after it's been fucked up by these people. But I cannot, in good faith, trust them. Like, if there's a superpower I would have, it's legitimately seeing if someone voted red for the election. For this election in particular. Maybe some of the other ones too, but like this election in particular, because it's like, okay, it's simple. I would look at them. Can I trust them or not? Would I be able to say that they would be able to like, they have what is it called? A potential to see me as a human being, or will they go over and try to do stuff to me? And like, we have the fucking fire too, because one of the funniest things I've seen is that so many people think, oh, okay, because this is like, what is it called? Oh, okay, this person will not, like, clearly they don't deserve anything, and like, obviously, I've seen a few people being like, well, you can't, like, what's it called? People aren't trying to get rid of trans people. You can't do that they can't do that because he doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the fire at the LGBT community center that tried to kill so many people, Jesus Christ. Like, shit's been wild, and it's just like, what's it called? Everyone at this point is like really seeing how shit's gonna go. It's only gonna get worse, right? Because this is like the beginning. Shit's like fucked up. This is one thing too, because for a point earlier, I spent like several dollars on getting a tire fixed and an oil change, as well as $40 for my gas. My gas isn't even filled up. My car takes more than $40 worth of gas now. It's very unfortunate, and it's only going to get worse, and I hate it. This ain't what I voted for. As someone that definitely voted blue, this ain't what I voted for. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I've been seeing so much shit on the stuff that's been going down in my country, in other places, now that this fucking insane person is president and all of their fucking friends are in power. And I'm like, damn. This really is the worst case scenario, I think. Like, it's just gonna get worse before it gets better at this point. And all that can be done is to try to mitigate damage, really. I am so excited for midterms. I do want to note, I am definitely, because I watched it last year. I remember watching it last year with my ex now. I remember watching it last year and being shocked when Trump became president. Not because I didn't think that a lot of people just were assholes, but because I was seriously like, because after last time, I figured they wouldn't. After all this shit that happened, I figured that that wouldn't be the case. But I learned from my mistake. I've learned the depths of humanity's stupidity. I know better now. So I want to go over. I'm gonna have like a thing. So what I want to do for midterms, right? I want to see if I can get the day off. I want to get the day off. I want to stream that day. What I want to do is I want to have the map of the old, because there are records of the map of the election for last year. I want to have the map up there, and in comparison, I want to showcase it doing that, and then the difference between then and now, because I'm very curious as to just how much will change. As to just how much will change, and see if it's there. If there are, I'm hopeful there's a midterm. I assume there's going to be, is my thing, right? Because I know that the Trump administration is making it harder to actually make these midterms possible. I think it's not to the point where it's gonna stop happening, where it's gonna not happen. I think it's gonna happen. It's just that I know they're gonna make it so much harder. They'll have people like at fucking areas. They're trying to invalidate mailing ballots, which is crazy, by the way. That's crazy, by the way. The person that went over and fucking, what's it called, accused everyone else of cheating before is now trying to take out mailing ballots when they're in trouble. Crazy how that works. Not any other time. Not when they were getting elected and apparently winning. Crazy how that works. I think things have been getting really crazy for anyone in America. Anybody, and not even just America, right? Because like obviously there's been the wars that have been happening, right? There's been the shit that happened to, what was it, Venezuela? Yeah, there it is. Because like, what's it called? Yeah, no, there's the freaking bombing and stuff that happened in Venezuela, and there's the war in Iran. And like in those areas, shit must be crazy, right? Because I already knew, like, what's it called? Getting rid of their dictator. Yeah, fair enough. They're cheering. But I'm curious as to what happens now. What's happening now there? I don't know. Obviously, the U.S. hasn't taken occupation. Because I don't think they know. I don't think they know how power vacuums work. The top doesn't know what power vacuums are because until they're dead, they're not losing power. What's it called? And then fucking there's this shit in Iran. I don't know what the fuck's going with the people over there because I legitimately just haven't heard anything. But I think that's on purpose because people haven't talked about it. Because why would they talk about it? The people that would be able to report on that shit are owned by by the government. Yeah, hi crap. We're talking about shit. I've been talking about shit just that's been going on. I pretty much nearly done with the rant. What's it called? Yeah. I think that a lot of I think that like a lot of things things have been getting strung up. And again, it's literally just gonna get better. Well, I guess gonna get worse before it gets better. But I don't know. I'm trying to look at the positive side. There's been a bunch of shit that's been going on in trans communities, in LGBT communities. There's been a lot of riots and protests that have been happening. A good amount of changes in local Dem areas, which definitely you should get involved in, 100% get involved in. And I think that we're gonna come out of this. I don't know if we're gonna come out of this better or worse, but we're gonna come out of it. It feels like a lot of shit is just going down. It feels like it's just absolutely fucking piling on top of everything, and it's by design too. Because they want everyone to forget about about all the things that ICE have done. They want everyone to forget about the Epstein files. They want everyone to forget about the bullshit that every single fucking person in power is fucking trying to do. And it's like, it's weird. I personally have a terrible memory. I haven't, like, fully forgotten all that shit. And I think it's just that I have a harder time when it comes to advertising affecting me, just because of how my brain works. Because obviously I can get distracted and shit, and I just forget details of shit. But, like, none of the other events that I learned about when it came to this administration, I've forgotten yet. There are details that are missing because I'm fucking stupid and I forget some things. But, like, you know, I feel like each event that I've learned about is just something I haven't been able to forget. And it's something I want to try and fix. Which I think is interesting. I only got 3 more years of this. At this point, I already know what'll happen. We probably still have 3 more years of this. Midterms or no, someone that's in power right now is probably going to take everything place. We're going to have 3 more years of this. But, like, it's a good start to just get rid of the fucking dying brain that is Trump. Get rid of the dying puppet that is Trump. Jesus Christ. What's it called? I think at this point of my life, I don't know. These are the reasons that, like, that the whole thing for, like, the goth community released it to me. I want to try and figure out a way to save it. I can't do anything because I have no fucking power, right? I'm just a random fucking T-girl on the internet. I'm just a random fucking T-girl on the internet who learned about goth culture and said, hey, that's fucking amazing and aligns very well with what I have, with who I think I am. Has been trying to gain more confidence in herself. But, like, I know I don't have any, like, for lack of a better term, real power. But, like, I want to educate people. I want to try and fix things for people. Like, leave things better than, I guess, how I found them. And they sure as hell ain't better. They sure as hell ain't better, I'll tell you that. You have confidence? That's been a lot more confidence. Like, that, I mean, to be fair, that's part of why I started streaming in the first place, was to gain confidence in myself. But yeah. I just, as something I wanted to say, I know that, like, a lot of transmedia stuff is, like, a lot of me reading the news, but I feel like a lot of people do that. I wanted to try something different, just like a thing of, like, a message of, I think that's something we should be all doing, is trying to, I guess, for lack of a term, band together and help with things. I don't know how exactly, but I'd want to try. Like, obviously I have the LGBT terms series to try and go over and teach people different terms and shit. And I have, like, I have ideas. I would love to legitimately be because someone talked about this. I saw Sirius talk about this. I would like to go over and talk to different liberal creators, specifically creators that have called them that, like, I guess, for lack of a term, showcase their political identity and are left-leaning. Like, left-leaning people, like VTubers or regular streamers and shit, and just have them on to do something. Like, do something fun. I don't know what it would be, Like maybe a game tournament or like a fucking collaborative thing, some sort of Kahoot bullshit that of different interests and stuff to go over. And because I find one thing I find interesting, a lot of the right has a lot of camaraderie when it comes to heinous shit. Like, no one cares about the differences of their ideology. They go together, they have fun, they love dunking on the libs, right? That whole thing. And that gets them the people like, ooh, this is fun, this is cool, this is anti-cultural, let's do it. And then, we have people going over and saying heinous shit. So I think that's something I'd like to do, or something I'd love to see happen. I don't know how I'd do it. I'd want to reach out to people, but I don't know if I'd be able to fucking say shit. But like, I'd want politically minded people to go over and like hang out with each other. I'd have to be careful about that, obviously, to sure who exactly I put on there, but still. Yeah, that's one of the things. I'm trying to. I've been thinking about that for a while. Now, like, I don't know what exactly. Like, it's because it's one of those things of I don't know what exactly I could do, but I'm sure that I could do something. And if I do something, I want to make sure that it would be as effective as possible at getting a message out.